Sarah Wolf has a concealed carry permit.
I do travel for work all the time. When I started traveling, I thought that, my husband actually encouraged me.
I personally think everybody ought to carry a weapon.
Why?
Because it's the only deterrent to people that carry weapons that shouldn't carry weapons.
A couple of months after she started packing heat on a regular basis, Sarah says she feels more confident.
I do. I bought a .22, which is something that I would fire.
Ohio and Kentucky both require residents who want to carry a concealed weapon to complete a training class, like this one at Woodhill Training in Miamitown.
Gun is leveled the whole entire time.
Retired Cincinnati police officer Tom Wood and self-defense expert Chris Adams teach two-day classes focusing on Ohio's concealed handgun law.
I'm tracked, so I have to ward my threat away.
And personal safety.
We teach the basic Ohio Carry Conceal class, which consists of knowledge of revolvers, semi-automatics, the makings, the workings of them, the ammunition, the styles, and then we go into personal one-on-one training scenarios. And in our opinion, that's what saves your life.
When Tom started teaching classes here at Woodhill Training 7 years ago, none of the students in his classes were women. Now, about a third of his students are women.
It's from 21 years old, where they can legally own the gun and get the permit, to 81. We had a lady come in, 81 years old, shoot a group the size of maybe 3 inches, outshot all the guys.
Back away. Just wanted to have the option to carry if I wanted to.
Why?
In case I need to protect myself or my family.
Turn around and walk away! Hannah Macklin was a student in a recent class at Woodhill.
It's just a different world even from what I grew up in and definitely from what my parents grew up in.
Do you think you will carry?
Probably.
The number of concealed carry licenses issued in Ohio has been steadily growing since 2006. The Ohio Attorney General's office says more than 56,000 permits were granted in 2009, the last year for which records are available. Since Ohio's concealed carry law took effect in 2004, the state has issued more than 199,000 permanent gun licenses. Kentucky law has allowed concealed weapons since 1996. But to be consistent, here's a look at the numbers since 2004 from the Kentucky State Police. Since 2005, the Bluegrass State has also seen a steady rise in gun licenses issued, with a total of more than 171,000 since the law took effect. While the states don't keep records of whether gun licenses are issued to men or women, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department says women make up about 15% of the residents who are licensed to carry. And the National Shooting Sports Foundation says 70% of retailers saw an increase in female customers in 2009.
I would go to family functions, I would go to the bank, the grocery store. I always had my gun on me, and I had the perfect little purse for it. No one ever knew it was in there.
Susan Butler was a Cincinnati police officer until she was granted a disability retirement about 8 years ago.
I don't carry anymore. When my kids came in the picture, I did not want people to know that I had my gun. I was afraid that if I would go to a bank or a grocery store, I always put in my mind that something's going to happen. Guess I'm a little bit of a pessimist.
Susan gave up her gun to focus on her family, but says she's not surprised more women are packing heat. She does warn it's not a decision to be made lightly.
You have to be ready to use it because there's only one reason why you're carrying the gun. I think you just have to be a real responsible person and be prepared.
At all times, the gun is pointed downrange.
If a woman is thinking about getting a concealed carry permit and carrying a weapon, what should go into that decision?
I think probably an open mind, come into the class first rather than go buy the gun that her husband says or her boyfriend says or maybe even the gun shop says, because we have to fit the firearm to her. One thing that nobody remembers is she's the weapon, the gun's a tool.
When you apply for a gun license in Ohio or in Kentucky, you don't have to give a reason. So there's no research on why the numbers have been steadily rising for the past several years. However, I did ask several people with backgrounds in law enforcement, and there are a couple of common theories. Some fear their right to carry will be taken away, and they want to make sure they have that permit in hand. But the more popular reason seems to be people's awareness about crime and the knowledge that police can't be everywhere. It's that fear of becoming a victim, which some experts believe is heightening people's desire to have one more way to protect themselves and their families. Sheila Gray, Fox 19 News.